Evening, guys. City have just dropped 2 points in the title race. Is it a title race? Still probably is, but isn't looking good, is it? Unfortunately, I couldn't be bothered doing this video. I'll be honest with you. I genuinely, I really couldn't. I didn't want to go live. Like sometimes you just not in the mood today. Just tired today. I was like, yeah, fucking don't want to talk about football. But we're here to talk about it. I can't be the only one who's feeling a bit just miffed by that. Now, honestly, top line thoughts from me, we just sort of weren't really good enough. I don't think we were abysmal or anything like that. I can't sit here and honestly say that City were terrible tonight. They were just all right, you know, but just not great. If that makes sense. Not good enough to overcome adversity, which you have to be. You have to be. I don't think we were horrific. I think we were just a little bit faffy in front of goal. Unfortunately, not enough conviction and their goals are of high quality. There was mistakes in them, but they were ridiculously good goals. Like as much as little Foden didn't have a great time, unfortunately, with either of the goals. I still don't think they were terrible goals, if that makes sense. They weren't like, oh my god, that's just shambles. I mean, it's just the second goal in particular. It's just a really quick give and go. I've watched it, and people have rightfully pointed out that Foden's a bit slack there, but it's not egregious. It's not terrible. Like it just gets spun quickly, and Elliot Anderson takes one shot and then kills it in from 25 yards into the far corner. It's a beautiful goal, the kind of goal that De Bruyne did against people all the time. Elliot Anderson's a fantastic player. But it's still, from City's perspective, it's just sort of not sharp enough collectively, if that makes sense. The refs is another issue. I think one of those should have been a pen, if I'm being honest. I sort of see why both of them weren't given, but it is frustrating to see, I feel like one of those, I think the second one, Rodri, I don't know. The refs were annoying. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I think I don't know how I feel about the pens. Now, a lot of people feel like they were stonewall pens. I think the Haaland one is more of a pen than me for the Rodri one. The 3 pen chances, what was the third pen? Have I missed one there? I don't know. Have I missed one? What was the other pen that I've missed? I think the Haaland, and there was Haaland and Rodri. I don't know what I'm missing there. No, they were all looked at for what it's worth, but they were. Haaland was grabbed. I don't think that was never a pen. The Haaland grab one was never a pen, mate. Never a pen in the Haaland grab one. There was nothing in it at all. In my opinion, there wasn't. It's the kind of. It was barely a touch. He just went down because his touch was bad. It was just. I don't know. I just feel frustrated about it. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, we've dropped 2 points now where Arsenal won. It's now 7 points. We're not game in hand beat Arsenal, of course. It's down to 2 points. So it's very possible that we still can do it. But it's. I don't know if we have the consistency to overturn Arsenal right now. That doesn't mean it's not possible. It doesn't mean we're not capable. But as I sit here, with 8 games left to play for Arsenal and City. Look, if City win their game in hand, say they do, just presume they do, it's 4 points basically. Obviously, if you beat Arsenal, it's 1 point, which is possible. So that means it's only 1 point there. It's just you need it in your own hands at this stage of the season, because I don't know if this team has enough collective experience and conviction to turn it around. Right now, I don't feel good about it. Arsenal weren't great against Brighton by all accounts. They just ground it out boringly. I know. I wish we could do that to an extent. We've done it recently, but at home we have to be more clinical. Like, we had the chances. Like, we have to be more decisive. This is entirely on City. Like this City side don't know how to kill games right now, and if you're going to try and win a title and you don't know how to kill games, you're not gonna win the title. It's as simple as that. Even in the when we won the 4th league in a row, I don't think we were great that season, but we knew how to kill the odd game off here and there. And it's not every single game. Sometimes you have to grind it out, but you can't grind out every single game. And right now, City aren't capable. Unfortunately, we're not. Haaland doesn't get the right service. He barely gets a touch when it matters. We're not creating enough chances. When we do get them, we sort of faff around in front of goal a little bit. Moments of quality, of course. Semenyo's goal was beautiful. Shirky did really well to create the space, get a great cross in. Semenyo was a serious finisher. Brilliant finish. The second goal, of course, just a whipped in cross, not a headlock sight for what it's worth, by the way. Rodri did really well to get that one in. Their goal, Gibbs-White, it's a good counter. It's a really good goal again. It's annoying. Aina does really well to cross it. You sort of get half a yard and Aït-Nouri. It's flicked back, and it's a really nice finish from Gibbs-White. Really nice goals. We can nitpick and point out things that we should do better. There are things we should do better, but their goals are of high quality, like smash and grab stuff. I don't think City were deserving of drawing this game, but you get what you deserve often. Deserving is not the word. We don't deserve to win. On the balance of the game, you'd expect City to win, but you don't win if you don't score the goals. And I'm looking at it right now, and it was all City's game, and you have to take your big chances, man. You have to take your big chances. And today we weren't good enough. And I don't even feel really angry. I feel just frustrated. I feel sort of deflated after that. I wasn't in the mood for this game today anyway. Honestly, that's my genuine. I really wasn't in the mood for today. I didn't have a good feeling about this game. I was a bit tired today, a bit off, and I didn't have the energy to even watch it. I watched it, of course. I didn't have the energy for it. I watched it, slumped on the sofa, and sort of got a lazy performance too. Individually, Donnarumma had nothing to do with any of the goals. He went for, and obviously the Gibbs-White one took him away. I thought Núñez had a poor game today. I think he struggled today, Núñez, in this game. I thought Gay had a poor game as well, unfortunately. Gay was sloppy by his standards. Diaz did all right. I don't really blame him for anything. I thought Diaz had a pretty decent game. Aït-Nouri, I don't know why he went off for what it's worth. We bought Aït-Nouri off and put Kusanov on. I don't understand that. Is it something we didn't know there? I thought Aït-Nouri was playing pretty well, personally. Got an assist as well for the corner. Phil, Phil. Really hard watch. It's a hard watch with Phil, isn't it? Hard is hard as a guy. I've been watching Phil Foden play football for 10 years. 10 years. I've watched him as a kid. I spoke to him when he was a kid as well, and I sort of feel like, you might laugh at this, but I've been watching Phil Foden since he was a tiny kid play football. I watched him. I think I first saw him in a tournament at youth level when he was 14, and so I do feel a little bit protective of him because I know he's a nice lad, and I know the reason he's playing badly. I don't know the reason. I guess the reason he's playing badly is the confidence thing, and I don't want nice people to have confidence issues. But the fact of the matter is, right now, this is a shell of who he used to be. Like, he just looks like he was trying to lock in, and he can't do it. Right now he's riddled with insecurities. It was difficult. Like, Phil is just in a bad spot. He's in a bad place, and this, I can only presume it's mentally. I don't know. Is it an adaptation to what Pep wants him to do, and he's struggling with it? I don't know. But this isn't a confident Phil Foden. The sort of zest and the zip and the vigor of what he used to have, it isn't there right now. When I think about Phil Foden, Guardiola always used to say that Phil Foden tried to play the game at 100 miles an hour, and obviously you need to slow down a little bit. And that's sort of true. But I feel like he slowed down a lot, right, if you know what I mean. And like that zip and that pace is what gave Phil Foden an awful lot of life and energy. And I guess dynamism, was a big part of his game when he was a bit younger, and it's just not there at the moment. And I struggle watching him because I find it hard because I know how good he is, and I'm not protecting or arguing for him or anything like that. I'm just, this isn't Phil Foden, I don't know what's gone wrong there. And look, this lad is essentially most of us out there on the football pitch, and I wouldn't sell him is ridiculous. I'm never there. But never at that stage, never will be. But yeah, it was tough today. We did miss Nico Riley today, absolutely. Nico Riley's physicality, sense of goal, his urgency, his overall quality, we missed that. But I mean, I don't think today was even an issue of. We're out-battled in midfield or anything like that. We kept all the ball pretty comfortably. City had all the possession, 70% to their 30. More than enough chances, but if you don't score, you're not going to win the game, and that sounds really basic. But as Guardiola said, you've got to score the fucking goals, guys, and we didn't score the goals tonight. And and it's difficult, and we just weren't good enough. And as I said, I feel deflated, not angry, just like I just don't think we're consistent enough, unfortunately. There's a lot of games to play. We've got a lot of quality, but right now it's a big ask. Look, if this was Manchester City of a few years ago, yeah, absolutely. We go win the next 8 games and that's it, and we win the league. But right now, I don't know if we're capable. As Guardiola said recently after a press conference, he doesn't know if this team can win every game. He said we can't win every game. I don't think we can. And I think he knew that. He knew this team doesn't have. They're not fully locked in and there yet. And I'm not actually mad. I'm just disappointed, really. Like, because I'm not mad because I think they're doing the best they can do. Like, I think where this team at right now is where they are. I think they are a team in progress. They're getting better. We know we didn't lose tonight, but they're not fully clinical. They're not fully settled who they are, and it's just not quite it yet, you know. And I do think it's lacking a little bit of something still. My biggest issue when I think about it is that we don't really quite create enough chances for Haaland. That sort of bugs me a bit. Like I wish there's a little bit more dynamism. The amount of times the ball goes out wide to Nunes, who's having a great season by the way, but he's often our wide right outlet, and I don't think he's good enough as a attacking. Herbal MCFC, are you being serious, mate? Are you genuinely dipping out football because we're second in the league, given everything? Herbal, mate. And I mean this, I know you're a nice guy, but that is incredibly entitled, mate. Genuinely. Like, dipping out because we're second in the league is proper glory hunter stuff. Like, truly. Given what I went through, mate, watching us in the third tier football, fucking playing Macclesfield and shit like that. And we're second and we're dipping out of football. That is proper entitled. I'm going to tell you that. Sure, you're nice people, but anyone who gives up on their team because they're second, don't like that. Don't like that at all. I really don't. I don't like that at all. It says a lot. It says that you can't moan about the player's mentality if you're going to do that. Anyway, you're dipping out now after going for 32 years. I think you're having a bit of a bad day, mate. Log off the internet. Log off the internet and go and have a herbal tea. Absolutely, because it's not like nothing was disgraceful about City tonight. That's what I'd like to remind everyone. Not being good enough is not disgraceful. Like I don't think anyone was a disgrace tonight. Some people's form wasn't quite there. There was no lack of effort for me. There was no lack of want. There was just a lack of quality. Like that's my issue. Like, I think City just aren't quite there yet, and I watched that with a sort of sense of deflation. That when it went to 2-2, I'm not sure anyone else felt the same, but I watched that and I was like, we'll be unsubscribing. Okay, mate, don't take it personally, pal. I think you're losing your head a little bit here. Go for it if you want to. I think I'm right on this for what it's worth. Like, dipping because we're second, giving everything. I don't think I'm not doing anything wrong, but I don't think anyone should dip out of a fan base because we're not winning the league. I think that's different reasons, sure, but now after a draw, come on, mate. Like, you didn't dip out when we won. We won the last 6-7 games in the league in a row. So that's what I will say. I think you just lost your head a bit, man, mate. Go and have a sleep. Anyway, go to bed a bit, and you'll be all right in the morning. But anyway, what I was saying before that is like, like when it went to 2-2, I didn't feel we were going to score. We just lost the league. I think you should wake up. Yeah, I agree, mate. We have probably lost the league, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop supporting Man City. I wouldn't be here if that's how it works. I would have never supported City in the first place, pal. Yeah. So by the way, I don't support Man City, and it's City fans, I don't support City to watch them win the league. I would support City if they lost 38 games out of 38, because I'm a City fan. My name is Stephen. I'm from Manchester. I'm male. I'm a City fan. I have a wife. I have 2 kids. I have a mum and dad, brother and a sister. Those are undisputable facts about who I am as my identity, if that makes sense. I'm 40 years old. Like that, I'm a City fan forever, regardless. Like, and it's just non-negotiable. That's who I am. It's part of my identity. Like, it's just an indisputable fact of who I am. So that's it. Like, anyway, but it's just, yeah, angry at him. Of course, you're angry at your family. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'd see the doctor if that was true, Brian. But yeah, but anyway, like, the way I feel about this Manchester City side is that there's hope. That I have hope that we can do something special this season. And I still feel that way. Until I see indisputable proof that we can't. By the way, Elliot Anderson, can we all fucking agree? Get him in. Elliot Anderson, that's a De Bruyne goal, that. Elliot Anderson, beautiful, beautiful footballer. Get him in. And of course, Gibbs-White was going to score today. But yeah, I was, I watched that today, and look, there's hope there that we can still do something this season. But my expectation at the start of the season is that we would finish second this year. That's why I felt at the start of the season we finished second. And we're still there. So that's where we are. We still could win the league. If we fall short, it's because the churn of this team has been ridiculous. When I look at the Manchester City side today, look at this City side there. Donnarumma, Nunes, Gueye, Aït-Nouri, Shirky, Semenyo. Six of those I would say are new to Manchester City as starters. Nunes was here, but you know what I mean. He's new in this role. He's a new right back. Then you look at the bench. Kusanov. Semenyo's reasonably new. Doku not new. Kusanov new. A lot of the players knew his point of getting out. Nico O'Reilly, usually part of the team, new to this Manchester City side. I guess the point I'm making is I don't expect this City side to be as good as the old ones. I expect them to compete, and they are competing. They are competing. That's the thing. They are competing. It is frustrating today, absolutely. I think Guardiola and this Manchester City side, I was feeling a bit philosophical earlier, speaking about where Manchester City are these days, what we're trying to get to. The Premier League has shifted to an absurd degree. It's so different to anything. I think Guardiola is very, very much aware. Stop making excuses. We should have won the game. And Mario, mate, I literally the title, the video is not good enough, and we should have won. Come on, mate. Herbal, log off, mate. For someone who's apparently given up City, you're still here. Herbal, I mean this in the nicest possible way. You've lost your head. I don't mean this personally. Genuinely, just go and relax, mate. You're in a bad mood. It's okay. You're obviously very in a bad mood, unless you're just trolling. I know you are, Herbal. You're in a bad mood, mate. Just go. It's okay. Just go and relax. It's just football, pal. It's frustrating, but it's just football. I'm going to cuddle my son after this when he wakes up, and I'll be all right. You know what I mean? I can make my peace with where we're at with this City side. I want us to win the league. We still might. It's not over, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't give up ever. I look at that City side and I think we're still in transition. I don't expect them to be as good as De Bruyne, Gundogan, Pete, Bernardo Silva, Mahrez yet. You look at where the Premier League is going. As I was saying before, look at where the Premier League is going. There's an increasing effort on man-to-man marking, physicality, and set pieces, and all this kind of stuff. Winning the balls is so transitional. It's so aggressive. Football's changed so much. Guardiola is clearly trying to adapt to that. He is. The players that we sign are physical. Gueye and Semenyo, they are good at set pieces. We've got people who can beat man-to-man presses. We're signing dribblers. Aït-Nouri's a dribbler, Shirky's a dribbler, Doku's a dribbler. People like that who can beat their man. Nunes playing at right back and beat his man with his burst of pace. We're trying to adapt to it still. We haven't fully got there yet. We sort of have. And I think you can see the sort of teaming issues. I think City are going to keep shifting and changing the squad. I expect several to leave in the summer, just because they will do, because it's inevitable. And I think 4 or 5 will come in as the rebuild is sort of completed. And who knows where we'll be at? Who knows what we could have won or might not won by then? One thing I do know is that I haven't given up. Arsenal are in a really good position. It was just painful to admit. As I said, I'm not angry. I'm just sort of frustrated and disappointed. And I think we should have won tonight. We absolutely should have won. The reason we didn't win is because we are not a great side. We're a very good one who can be great but also can be really poor. The difference is, the way I describe it is often, it's great elite sides, the best sides. Their average is an 8 out of 10, if that makes sense. They sometimes the 6 out of 10, but they're sometimes 10 out of 10. Their average is an 8. Occasionally they can have a 1 out of 10 too. Anyone can, but they're so few and far between. Whereas when I look at this City side, I would say our average is 6.5, 7 out of 10. We rarely reach 10 out of 10 performances. We can reach about 8.5, 9, but we can dip to 4, 5. that's the issue. I just don't think we're quite up there yet collectively. I think there's a real dip in quality overall, which I think that gap will get smaller as the players adapt to Guardiola. I think we're seeing signs of that. And for what it's worth, by the way, we're still, we didn't lose tonight. I'd like to remind everyone that. But this side just isn't a special side yet. I don't think anyone thinks this side is a special side. And if you do, then maybe that's why you're frustrated. If you think this side isn't special, I don't think you can demand they win the league, if that makes sense. Like I can only adapt my expectations to what I think the side are, and I think the side is a side just shifted everything. Like 13 players have gone last year or two. I think I look at this Manchester City side, and I look at them. Donnarumma is absolutely elite level. I think our centre-backs are good. I really like him. Gueye, Kusanov, Diaz, Vardiol. They're more than good enough. They are all absolutely going to be, we've got 2 players who can play at a world-class elite level there out of the 4 of them at any time, if that makes sense. We've got good enough centre-backs. Norway right now is like a 7.5 pushing 8 level of player. I think in time, Norway can end up being an 8.5 pushing, he could be an excellent player. Like, I think he's a very good player, Norway. I think he can be an excellent player. I expect Guardiola to squeeze a bit more out of him, and I'm not sure if he'll be a 9.5, 10 out of 10 player, but I expect him to be an 8.5, not quite a 9, but like he can have days where he's 9, 9.5. But I expect him to be an excellent footballer, Rodri, we know Rodri. Phil is a weird one. Phil is like the most. Phil, we know how good he can be. He can be 10 out of 10. Phil, right now he's playing at 3, 4 out of 10. It's I feel very sorry for him. Shirky, I expect him to be world class, absolutely. Semenyo, Semenyo's like a 7.5, 8, and I think he'll stay there. He might get a bit better, but I think he'll stay this really effective squad player. I don't know. I don't think Semenyo will get much better. I don't know. I think he's just going to be really. I think Semenyo is exactly what you get. He'll obviously improve a bit, but I think Semenyo is just exactly. I'm talking about overall. I think Semenyo is just Semenyo. I think that's who he is. I think we'll bring in an Elliot Anderson, and I think he'll be brilliant. I think Elliot Anderson will be at reach world class levels. Then of Kusanov, I think will be top quality. Doku is. Yeah, he first came back in a long time there today. I think Doku's been great this season. I think he's an 8.5, 9 out of 10 when he wants to be. Nico's a strange one. I don't know where he's gone, Nico. Marmouche, 7.5 out of 10 player. Sometimes it can be 8.5. I don't know. Nico Riley is currently an 8 out of 10 player. He can be a 9 out of 10 player, 10 out of 10 player potentially. His sky's the limit. He could be world class, Nico Riley, and the Oscar Vardiol, of course. And I think we'll sign 1 or 2 players. We'll get there. But Semenyo's great. I love him. I think he's great. But I don't know if he's a special footballer, but he doesn't have to be. He's really good at what he does. I guess the point I'm making is that I think a lot of these players need to go up a level still, and they will do in time. I actually truly believe that. But I don't think we've got the players that are at a peak yet. Whereas I think what Manchester City were a few years ago. We win that treble because Edison, was at his sort of peak age. Akanji just like reached the peak of his career. Kyle Walker was at the peak of his career, locked in. Stones and Diaz are at the peak of their careers. Ake had the best season of his career. They're all like 8.5, 9 out of 10s. Rodri was having a 10 out of 10 moment where he became the best midfielder in the world. De Bruyne was a 9.5, 10 every single game. Gundogan was a 9 or 9, minimum 9 out of 10. Bernardo was a 9 out of 10 minimum player. Haaland with that season was a 10 out of 10 player. Grealish was an 8.5 maybe out of 10, but still excellent. Mahrez and all these people, Phil Foden were 8.5 out of 10 players that season. Like, we had no one who was a 7 out of 10. Alvarez was an 8.5 out of 10. Everyone on that team in the treble season was like at least an 8.5 out of 10. Everyone was just on it, man. It was just too good. There was too much. I think we've got a few 2 players who can reach 6 and 7s often in this team right now. But I'm getting at Aspie. Like, Aspie's like, about Semenyo. Semenyo's great. He's brilliant. He's a ridiculous finisher. But like, yeah, it was weird on Semenyo. Incredibly effective. But why don't I feel like he's a special footballer? Because that's not even fair, is it? But, buddy, the reason I'm talking about treble season is because I'm talking about peaks. I don't think the City side is close to its peak. That's what I'm on about. Like, the reason I'm talking about that is I think too many players have just been caught at that point where they need to go up a bit, you know? Like Ake and Stones, Edison, Ake, Stones, Walker, Akanji. We've got that was their peak, you know, when they got there, when they got to that point, and I don't think these players are there yet. Even Rodri, that was his peak. He wasn't there before it. Gundogan, this was his peak. Yeah, I guess I'm feeling sort of philosophical about the City side. Like, annoying today, really annoying. But I don't have a lot to offer other than like, this is where we're at. This is where we're at, and I've got an acceptance of it. You know. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for 5 Things Learned. I want to get my head around it a little bit more. Frustrating tonight. But you're all legends, and I hope anyone with hot head, you know, is resting and getting in bed. There's a nice. If you got a hot head, go to bed. That's my advice. Trust it from a tired dad. It's a good idea. Yeah. Good night, I guess, is the best way to put it. In a bit, guys. Bye-bye.